Okay, you're in Microsoft Excel and you want to count the number of times a specific character appears within a cell. We want to do that for the hash symbol, which you can see appears 4 times. So the first thing we need to do is calculate the total number of characters within that cell. And we can do that using the len function. So in total, there are 16 characters in that cell. What we then need to do is create a version of that text string that excludes the hash symbol, the character that we're trying to count. And we can use substitute to do that. So the first argument in substitute is text. So that's the text we want to substitute characters in. And then the old text is the character that you're counting. So for us, that's the hash. Then you just put a comma at the end. And then the new text you can just leave blank because you're basically just getting rid of the hashes. So if I close the bracket there, you can see it creates a version of that text string that excludes the character that we want to count. So then what we do is we count the number of characters returned by the substitute function. There we are, there are 12. So if I then said 16 minus 12, I would get the number of times the hash symbol appears, which is 4. Now we've had to use 3 different formulas to get to that result, but you can just combine this second formula with the first formula. So you'd say the total number of characters minus the total number of characters excluding the hash symbol, and you'll get that answer of 4. So down here, things are slightly complicated by the fact that we have 4 t's, but one of them is lowercase. So if I go through this process again, count the total number of characters, and then substitute the t for nothing. So this is my text. The old text is a T. So I'm going to specify a capital T, and I'm replacing it with nothing. And you can see what it does. It does get rid of the uppercase T's, but leaves the lowercase t there. So to get rid of that, what we can do, I'll just show you how this works with the upper function. What we can do is convert everything to uppercase. So if I do that within this substitute function, so I'm converting everything in B4 to uppercase, it will then get rid of all of the T's. So then if I did a count of the number of characters, you're left with 12 characters. So we now know what to do. I can take this formula and I can subtract its result from the first formula, and I'm left with 4. So you can see we've got 4 T's, 3 of which are uppercase, 1 of which is lower.